everybody, how you doing? This is Joseph Cervantes with Success Made Simple. Welcome back. This is episode number 5 of our series, and it really goes into setting the date. In our last video, we talked about taking a goal and taking this vision that you created, which is the cornerstone of this whole developmental process and changing your life to becoming what it is that you want to become. And we took this vision and it was very detailed, right? If you follow through with the process, very, very detailed of figuring out what it is that you want to accomplish and how it looks and how it feels and the different senses that you would have and how it smells and just everything that's involved in that. And we took that vision and I showed you a way to lay it out and to break it down into consumable chunks and to really figure out what steps you needed to take in order to accomplish your goals. So it was very critical that you followed that process, because if you didn't, what you're going to end up having is a very grandiose vision, something that is perfectly attainable, anything that you can accomplish. And you're probably going to fail at it if you didn't break it down, okay? If you don't have the steps necessary to get there to that end result. So today is really, really, really the key in the push behind what it is that you're trying to accomplish. That energy, that motivation, that drive that is going to get the wheels turning to help you to accomplish what it is that you need to. Back in high school, it almost feels like it was yesterday, but I remember I was a freshman and I had just signed up into this school. I got transferred over and I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't sit down and talk to a guidance counselor. I didn't have any idea of any of the classes I needed to take. And I remember they wrote out my itinerary of my schedule and they said, okay, you start now. And my first course was biology. And I thought, okay, well, I walked into this classroom and I introduced myself to the teacher and she said, okay, well, you can take a seat over here in the back. And I ended up finding out that it was a class of seniors and juniors. And I was the only freshman in this class, and I thought to myself, what is the deal with this? Really, they're putting a freshman in a seniors and juniors course? Like, it didn't make sense to me. Now, I had always known that I was a little smarter than most and that I could retain information very easily. And I thought it odd, but I went through and I followed through in the class and I knew I was doing really well. And at the end of the year, the teacher gave us our final. And what our final was, it was to get a bug collection, okay? We had to get a glass case, and we had to get bugs and we had to identify them based on their different classifications of what types of bugs that they were. And then we had to write a report on it and we had to go through this whole process of basically providing to her what she was looking for, but she only gave us the vision of what it was. It was a bug collection, okay? And I remember I went home and I was really enthusiastic about it, and I went out to the store and I bought a bug net. And I went out onto the railroad tracks behind my house and I started finding little bugs and I would catch them and put them in these little glass jars that I bought. And this was probably 3.5 weeks from the date that it was due, okay? Again, she set a date, she told us when it was due. And I remember, going through the next couple of weeks and I had caught maybe 10 or 15 bugs and I thought, okay, well, my collection's coming together, so I may as well start to put together this glass case. I've always been very good with my hands. So I built this glass case and, I went outside and I remember buying the batting for the bottom and making these little labels and then I had to, if the bugs didn't die, I had to kill them so that I could put them into my collection. And I went through and I remember pinning them to this thing. I put some styrofoam underneath and I pinned these bugs in. And I had already started drafting out my report and doing the research that I needed to. And it came down to about 2 days beforehand. And I remember all of these seniors and juniors were asking me like, hey, can you help us out? We know that you're just about finished. And I'm looking at them like, What do you mean help you out? You haven't started yet? Like, I thought everybody was going out and doing this stuff consistently. Come to find out that almost 90% of that class hadn't even started. They had the date, but they hadn't even started yet. And I looked at them and I thought to myself, what is the deal? And I couldn't figure it out. And I just, I told him, I said, hey, look, I'll help you with some of the research because I've already done some of it, but I'm not going to give you the answers. And anyway, so we turned in our finals, and there were 2 people in that class that actually got A's. It was me and another senior. And that was it. Everybody else failed. And you know why? Because they went out at the last minute and they actually purchased their bugs. They were perfectly laid, taxidermied butterflies and very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bugs that they had caught. But you could tell that they didn't have the effort. But yes, she looked at mine. It was a handmade case that, I went out and cut the glass myself, and I built this case myself, and she saw that I took the time and the effort to put this thing together. And it showed, because I had the vision of what it was that I wanted to create, and I laid out the steps necessary. And it's so crazy to me as I think back to the story that I was living these steps back then. So, setting a date is so critical because it gives you a time frame and a time schedule of what it is that you need to do in order to accomplish things. So we have this grandiose vision, right? We have this huge vision, and we have all these different goals and steps laid out on how we're going to create it. But let me show you how dates may affect your life, okay? What are, off the top of your head, and get a pen and a piece of paper if you don't mind, what are some of the things that will affect you as far as dates are concerned? I'll throw some out there that are pretty damn important, right? Taxes. What has the U.S. government done? They've told everybody, hey, April 15th, your taxes are due. And they set that date. It's known all year long. The tax preparers know it. Everybody that files knows it. And it's interesting how on April 15th, I was driving down the street and there was a line, easily 45 minutes of cars that were lined up going around different blocks to drop off their taxes because the date was set. And so it had to be met, right? And these were all the procrastinators that held off until the last minute to get their stuff done. What's another date that we can look at here? Weddings. Weddings, events, parties. Some of these dates are pretty hard set when it comes to like birthday parties and such, right? But weddings are a date that you set. Basically, you set out a save the date. You do that to all of your invitees and you tell them, hey, this is the date that we're going to get married. And you start to build your wedding agenda. If you plan on having a wedding that's, these huge parties and stuff, you start to lay out your agenda and you start to plan for that date. And then you notice you start with this big vision of a wedding, right? You talk to your partner or whoever about how it is that you inevitably see this day coming about and what events are going to take place that day. So you've taken that big vision and you've broken it down. You talk about catering, you talk about the DJ, you talk about all these different things, and you lay out a plan on how you're going to execute that. You start receiving quotes for all of this stuff and you pay it off, right? So dates are very important from that perspective. What else? How about something that could affect you that you don't even know about? If you want to get involved in a fitness journey, most people don't set dates to accomplish their goals. And there's a reason why this organization called Beachbody is so successful, okay? And the reason why is because they built these workout programs, and when they solicit this information to people, they tell them 90 days. In 90 days, you are going to lose X amount of weight, or you can potentially lose X amount of weight. Why do they do that? Why do they say in 90 days? Look, everybody out there knows that a fitness journey is years and years and years of hard work, right? If you want to be a competitor, or if you just want to be the healthiest possible and have lots of lean muscle and, your six-pack abs, it takes a lot of work and consistency. It takes changing your entire lifestyle. But they tell people that they guarantee them that they'll lose the weight if they just participate and they do what they need to. And they tell them specifically 90 days. Every program that they have, with the exception of, I believe, Insanity, and a few others of the ones that are very, very high tempo with their HIIT training, they tell you 90 days. And there's a reason for that. Because people like to work within time constraints. People like to work within a set date parameter. And I guarantee that 80% of the people that start these programs, they take out a calendar, and Beachbody actually provides these to people. They take out a calendar and they'll mark day 90. And then every day they go in and they put an X mark by the day when they worked out, or by a rest day. And that's so critical. It's so critical, because what it does is it sets the motivation inside of you to say, okay, I have something I need to shoot for. I have something that I need to accomplish by a certain date. And it's so important that we do that with whatever it is that you're trying to succeed at, okay? So let's say you're trying to do a startup business, right? Well, there's a lot of different metrics to a startup business. And for instance, I'm just gonna throw the Beachbody business out there, because I know a lot of people that watch this are probably involved in the coaching aspect of this, okay? So, one of the things that you want to have is a website. Why do you want to have a website? Well, Beachbody provides you with a website, but you want a website because you want to push traffic to that website, okay? So it's really critical that you have that up, because you want to distinguish yourself from everybody else. But most people don't put a date behind when they want to have that up. So where are you pushing your traffic to? Your Instagram account, your Facebook account, that's great, but then you're utilizing the information that they're providing, and it almost seems too salesy, right? The other thing to that is you want to have results. Not only your own results, but you also want to have results from other customers that you've got involved in the business, so that you can show them, hey, I have proven results from other customers that have succeeded with the things that I've helped them with, right? So 90 days from the day that you start coaching, if you have other people that go through these programs with you because they trust you, then they're going to have results, and you can pretty much put that on your back and say, hey, look, I have a resume of people that have gone through these programs with me, it works, and now you've built some social credibility with people where they trust you enough to say, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too. And obviously they trusted you enough to take them through that journey, so I'd like for you to coach me as well, right? The other thing too with dates and such as in regards to the Beachbody business is every month they have these challenges that they put you through. It's for Success Club. And what they offer every month is they offer a discount on a certain workout program that they choose. And they tell you, hey, this month, in order for you to get Success Club, then you have to sell X amount of product so that it shows that you're still pushing through with your business. But not only that, they also offer additional incentives with that, where if somebody goes directly to the Beachbody website and they sign up for the products without going through a coach because they just saw an infomercial or something, then the Success Club people will actually receive free leads from that, so that they can put them into their accounts as their coach, and then they help mentor those people as they go through. So it's a different way of offering incentive to people, because inevitably they become financially rewarded by attaining Success Club. So that's typically a 30-day deal that they offer, and every 30 days they start the program over again. So you can see that business, especially when you're doing your own business, it's based on dates and deadlines, all right? And if you don't set those for yourself, it's really hard to get over that hump, to push yourself to accomplish your goals, because you have an end date of infinity. And that tends to lead to complacency. It tends to lead to results that are less than stellar, less than what you expected. And it really pushes the timeline out so far that you don't see the success happening, and most people end up letting things go. And it's typically that tipping point between You're starting, the day you start doing something, whatever it is that you have in mind that you want to accomplish, and the end result of where you want to see yourself being successful, that tipping point, normally, as we call it, a fulcrum, that fulcrum point is right at the point where you create your vision, you have your vision in place, you break it down, and now you get to that point right there where you have to set dates. Because if you don't, this becomes too heavy, and inevitably it'll take it down, and you'll never be able to accomplish what it is that you're trying to accomplish, okay? So setting a date is so critical in this whole process. Each one of the goals that you broke down from that grandiose vision, you've got to break it down even further. Break it down as far as you can. And then put all of those individual goals that you want to accomplish in a notebook, on a pad of paper, on a vision board. Do something to reaffirm to yourself that that's the date that I got to hit that particular task, that I got to accomplish that particular task. Put that date in front of you. Make it as tight of a timeline as possible, because if you set too much time in between there, you're not going to do it, okay? So maybe each task, it could take a week. If it's to research a certain thing, you've got to put your timeline in so that you understand when you expect to have that certain goal accomplished. And if you can do that, you start to get little wins. And those little wins build up to get you to your end result. So I hope that you found this video helpful to you. I hope I was able to serve you a little bit today. I know it's a little shorter than some of the other videos, but there's not very much that can be said. It's pretty self-explanatory. Set a date. Be great today, serve others, and help the world to become a better place. I hope this video served you. If it did, please subscribe to my channel. The next video that's going to be coming out is actually building a schedule that will help you when it comes to setting this date and being able to lay out your day. I'm going to show you some of the things that I do and how I lay my day out, which have helped me to become successful, to accomplish these goals and to get a lot of things done, including making these videos for you. Okay, so have a great day today. Please subscribe to my channel. Like me on Instagram. You'll find my account mentioned down below. I'm also on Facebook. And if you have friends that you feel that need some support and help to become successful, whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish, please let them know about this information. I love serving everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.